Hi, Hogziller here again. In today's edition, we're going to play Harley Davidson Race Across America. I made reference to this game in my prior video about Cyclemania, so I was able to dig out this game, brush off the dust, and was able to install this game. So, a little background on this game. Um, the Harley Davidson Race Across America was developed by Canopy Games and G2M Games and published by WizardWorks Software in 1999. I know that this game was met with mixed reviews, but let's see what I think about this game. 21, almost 21 years on. So let's go ahead and hop into the game. So there's a couple different modes that you can play. You can just do a practice race, which means you can go into any segment of a race, um, play that with any bike, any style. It is what it is. Tour game means you play one of 4 different tours across America. Here, we'll try a couple different ones. We'll see how the video's going. But you start out usually like in a city like New England. Then you can go to Wisconsin from there. Then you go to South Dakota and Sturgis. In each of the 4 different ones, you actually go to South Dakota and Sturgis for leg 3 and leg 4 of the tour. So really, you're only getting 8 different courses, 10 total with South Dakota and Sturgis. There was also a multiplayer option. I never ever used this before, and let me know if you ever did play multiplayer and what it was like on this. But you can tell it's just a very basic layout, which is actually okay. There's nothing wrong with a basic layout. No bells and whistles. But let's hop into a tour game here. So we're going to enter my name. We will put in Hogziller. And time to select a bike. So I did play this a couple times before this video just to make sure this game still worked on my computer. But one thing I remembered, and it's still true, is fuel economy is just about everything on this game. The reason I say that is because if you run out of fuel in the bike, which is a nice feature in the game to have, like having to have to stop at gas stations and get fuel, you get slowed down to just a crawl until you can get to a gas station, which negates any kind of acceleration or top speed on a bike. So I always go with a slower bike but with better fuel economy, because a bike without good fuel economy will actually have to stop at almost all the gas stations, and the time it takes to fuel up or put along to a fuel station is outweighed by being able to drive past that fuel station and get out ahead of the riders. So we'll cycle through the bikes here. You can see this one's a little better on fuel economy. This one's probably the best. Has a higher top speed but lesser acceleration. This one has a little less top speed but better acceleration, along with the same kind of uh, fuel economy. This one has horrible fuel economy but great speed. And this one, supposedly, if you win a tour, you get this bike, this 1956 KHK model. But I have won a couple tours and this bike does not unlock. I'm not sure what the other requirements are on this. There is a book that was included with my CD, and it says basically the same thing, but not sure how to get that bike. So why don't we go ahead and pick our bike here. You can change the color, change your rider. We'll stick with automatic transmission. Um, I think that's about it. Oh, we gotta select where we want to go. So we have the Arizona Colorado route, the California Utah route, the New England Wisconsin route. I thought there was a fourth route, but I might be wrong on that. There's only three. See, I'm already misremembering this game. Um, so one other thing with this game is I wish they would have had a few more routes. Another thing I kind of like, sometimes the mouse goes behind front-facing objects. You'll notice that with the bike too. But anyway, let's go ahead and pick the New England Wisconsin route and select OK. So I have the graphics turned up as high as I can, and you can already see that it is still a little fuzzy. There is sound on this game, but basically it's just motorbikes. So I have the sound turned off for this. So here's the first of the fuel stops. You're going to see that the computer will generally always stop at all the fuels. I'm going to skip this one. I usually wait until I'm a little below half before I'll stop. Now, I made reference to like the heads up display during my Cyclemania video, and you can see here that the heads up display is a lot better. It doesn't take up as much of the screen. You can see more of the track, more of the racing. Couple other observations is the nice, how do you say, hex graphics, where you don't have the nice smooth corners. So everything's like a straight line. There's no such thing as a curve in this game. Even that, look at that 67 gas thing is basically just a hex line. Oh, another thing, if you get hit by some car, they're just totally impervious to you getting hit. And they'll just hit you and keep moving on. So let's just work our way past that car. I always got the impression that this was kind of like a half-finished, rushed game at the end. Just because, like, you don't have the smoothing of the corners, which was definitely something that existed when this game was released in 1999. Because, like, the NASCAR games had this. So, and you'll notice, hopefully at some point here, that let's just do I'll do like a drive-by top off where I kind of keep moving and top off. But you'll notice in this game that the cars don't stay within the lines all the time. Um, so we'll just weave our way along this track. I like the map in the upper left corner if it was just a little better quality. And I have the graphics and everything like, oh, there's a car across the line. I have everything all how you say, at the highest settings possible. And yet you can see like the cloud cover isn't that good. Oh, oh, truck over the line. We're just gonna do a little drive-by here. Keep it moving. Sometimes I might just drive right past them and stop, like physically stop later. But if I can do like a little drive-by and get my fuel, I'll most certainly do it while the computer will actually physically stop. I don't know if you noticed that before, but there was a Harley Davidson semi. Some of the cars are nice in this game. They just don't drive well. And here's this very crude finish line. So you can see here I finished first. So I got $500. So let's go visit the store. You can choose between tires, um, the ignition kit, the muffler, and the carb. So we're going to buy the carb so we can get even more fuel economy. We will get, let's see here, what do I want else to get here? I'll buy the tires and the ignition kit because then you get more fuel economy in future ignition kits. Um, that should be it. So we have $50 available. Let's go back. Let's do next race. Wisconsin, if I remember right, this one has a hard right turn. One of the few. Not sure what happened there, why they had trouble getting off the line. But we'll take it. So it looks like we kind of drive through downtown Milwaukee, I'm guessing. There. I tried to do a little drive-by gas, but that didn't work. Usually, like the ones in Sturgis and the ones in Milwaukee that are way off the road, you can't do like a drive-by gas deal. You actually have to stop there. But here's some more blocky roads. And we have a farm up on the hill there with this. Watch this plane. This plane got me. Maple Tours Cheese Factory. But this plane will make these nice, like, diagonal turns. Like, they don't even make a smooth turn. Or just make the plane fly straight by if you don't want to show off your horrible graphics. Well, horrible might be. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this maybe a 3. They did put some effort into this, but I almost get the feeling that this game was incomplete when they tried to finish it. So, oh, 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 there goes the plane by. Let's just do a drive-by here of gas. So, see how we went from like half tank at the bottom of the screen there all the way to almost full without even having to stop? Here's that semi. Here is the police. It looks like we have Lakeshore on both sides. Oh boy, off the track. I don't want to hit the oncoming traffic here. See how that plane just kind of flew by there and it was just kind of weird. Robot Land. Like they tried to integrate this into like real life situations because Swiss Colony right there is a real life deal in southern Wisconsin, Monroe specifically. But it's like they couldn't use the exact names. Like landscape like this, you don't see until you're like down by the Wisconsin Dells. I don't know if you've ever been there, but I have a lot. It's close by, and let's just do that. Do a quick top off. But it has all these kind of cliffs like this. I think that might be, if anything, what they're trying to simulate here. Oh, way off track. If you get way too far off track, then you can do R on the keyboard. Some other things I wanted to touch on in this game here is you have different views. So like if I do number 2, I have this nice 3/4 view, which is very hard to drive. Number 3 is above. 4 is head on. 5 is like the nice in-game real-world experience. And 6 is boot cam. That's right, you get the view from the boot. I'll admit, honestly, I like 5 and 6. They're nice, well done camera views and thoughts. It's just the rest of the game is almost, I don't know, incomplete is the word I would like to say. Um, let's get into 5 here. I mean, I like the view, but if you look at the hands when I turn here, how they're just blocks. My hands are just square blocks. I feel like I'm in Minecraft. You know? As we come up to the finish, let's get back into our regular view here. And our very generic finish line. You broke the record. Let's visit the store. What do I want to buy here? I think I usually buy the ignition kit and the ignition kit. And then after the South Dakota race, I'll buy tires and the muffler. Yeah, you can't, there's no way you can max out every upgrade in this game. Because once you complete one tour of 4 races, your winnings just get taken away. I wish you could keep like compounding it or adding it, but it just, that's not the way apparently this game works. So let's see what South Dakota brings us. If this game was a little more complete, I wish you could have went from like maybe Milwaukee to Minneapolis, Minneapolis to South Dakota, South Dakota to Sturgis. But it's almost like they could use a few more tracks, a few more bikes, few more detail. It's just almost like they ran out of time with this game. I mean, I'm not necessarily against 4 racers. Oh, yeah, I was going to run into that car. It was more like I could use the option either 4 racers, maybe 8, up to 10. I know then we're starting to sound like that, what was that Sega game, Road Rash? I know there was like an equivalent of that for PlayStation, but that's what I kind of thinking of when I thought, man, this would be great with like 10 racers at various levels. So you could see that I leave the competition in the dust when I don't have to come to a complete stop for fuel, which negates any kind of acceleration or top speed benefit you can get. And you can already see the way I'm able to handle. Granted, not a good example of me running off right now, but you can already see that I'm already leaving them in my dust, just acceleration wise and top speed wise because of my money difference. So, couple other things to touch on here I haven't said already. The controls on this game, I'm using the keyboard, left and right and up, and it's kind of laggy. I think that's almost intentional because it's a bike. So they're trying to simulate that you can't really make like sharp turns like you could like on Cyclemania. I've actually never tried to run this with manual transmission, so I don't know what like gear shifting is on this game. But overall, like the bottom portion there, where you see your revs and your speed and your fuel, I like that layout. It's actually a nice layout. Maybe the positioning and time could be just a little better laid out, but I could live with it if that was the only flaw in the game. So a few more turns here. It looks like we got a. Oh man, oh man. Looks like we got roughly a minute to go before we reach Sturgis. Around a few more hex corners here. Oh, running off the dirt just reduces your speed greatly. I like how they have other games that are like Deer Hunter. Maybe I'll have to do a video. I have Deer Hunter 3, which was a great game. That was actually a game that I actually did play multiplayer on even. That was like one of those first like multiplayer games I played on. My cousin and I would play and hey, what map are you on? And oh, I'm just having all kinds of issues this race, but my bike is so upgraded that I don't have to worry about falling behind here. Here's the finish line when we're entering Sturgis. So let's go ahead and visit the store. We will let's go ahead and buy the tires. Buy the muffler. And we'll have $50 for a nice dinner, apparently. So this is always the final race, no matter what campaign you select of the three. It's the Sturgis campaign. Basically, you start on the outside of Sturgis. You're going to make a run through Sturgis, make this big loop to the north, come back through Sturgis, and just on the south side will be the finish line. I do that every time. I don't hit that curve right. And then I'm behind the 8 ball, but luckily there's a gas station right away when you get into town. So he should be pulling off here, and he has. And now I am way out in the lead, where I probably will not see those red dots the rest of the race. Maybe the concept here is nice. It's just, unfortunately, the execution is either poor or they just ran out of time and they had to basically put down the basic elements of the game and get it out the door to the customers. I do know they did make a sequel to this game. I forgot what its title is. But we'll just skip past this gas station also. Well, a little quick top off there. But as you can see, it's just a big loop basically on the north end of town. Eventually we should get where we're heading south. We might stop at the next gas station here for a drive-by fill up. Oh, way off the road, way off the road. Yeah, I have just left my competition in the dust. I know I did set it up on low difficulty, not easy, low. Let's stop at this gas station here. And go, go, go. Oh, I thought I could squeeze through there, but I couldn't. So let's go ahead and finish out this race. Not too much to go. You can see we're already starting to head south again. Just got to get around this car. We're definitely going above 55 miles an hour. Would have been another great element of the game if there was some way to turn on and off, like maybe having the cops interfere with you somehow if you're speeding. But as you can tell, we're just heading through town here. We'll just make a little right left, and there should be the finish line. Oh, off the road. And victory. So, that is one of the 3 tours available for Harley Davidson Race Across America. I won $550, for which I will be unable to use any of it because all your money gets wiped out, which is just perfect. And it's another reason I believe that this game is incomplete, just because why would you give them money and then you can't use it? It's like it's a thought they had in the game, but they just never saw it to completion. I think that's where we're going to leave this video here. There's not much else except just different scenery on the other tracks. So, if you did like what you saw in this video, drop a like. If you have a question or if you've played this game, leave a comment. I'm Hogziller, and thank you for watching.